Welcome to my channel, PhilNecroFan35. Let's talk sports cards.
Welcome to my channel, PhilNecroFan35. I'm Billy. Today's video is going to be my 2026 Strongsville recap and shoutouts. So, let's get started. Okay, the 2026 Strongsville show was the best of the three I have attended. It started with lunch on Thursday. Me and my brother from another mother, Keith, Cards of Dogtown, were staying at the Redwood Inn and decided to walk over to the Winking Lizard. We walked over there and there were multiple YouTubers there. Chris from Missouri, Mike Baseball Collector, Mike Jayhawker Vintage Cards, Jake's Legends Never Die, and many more. While waiting on our meal, Tyler 5-Cent Wax and Rob Cash Cards came in. They were going to sit at the table behind us. I told them just to join us. After lunch, we went back to the room for a few, then headed to the Embassy Suites for the informal get-together. There were more people at this informal get-together than there were at the meet and greet in 2024. Everyone was talking, giving and receiving gifts. There was some card trading and buying going on. I bought some cards from JT's Vintage Card Room, some King Griffey Jr. cards, and an on-card auto of Gaylord Perry. I looked at a 51 Bowman Warren Spahn but passed. Wanted to make sure I had enough money to get as many cards for my 1964 top set as I could. A fun time was had by all, especially the adult beverages out of the trunk of Keith's Mustang. Friday we headed to the show. I went straight to Craig and Holly Halbig's tables. I had bought several 64 tops from them over the past 2 years. I did really good going through their 64 tops. After I had looked at all theirs, I moved on to J.D. Hecklethorn. Got some more, then looked at Stanlock's cards. He had what I needed, but out of my price range. Not that his cards were priced high, they were just high quality. Went to Tim Payne's table and picked up some more, and was about 95% done with the set. Looked for and bought some cards for my 60 and 70 Braves team sets, and some modern cards. We left the show. Went by the hotel, dropped our cards off, then headed to the Embassy Suites for the YouTube meet and greet. Donated some money to the raffle to help with the mission trips. The money was going to Mike Baseball Collector and his wife for their mission trip, and to Theo Clemente Collector, his friend Hugo, for their mission trip. I also received a few gifts from different YouTubers. There also was an auction for a box full of stuff that people had donated. Altogether, over $5,000 was raised for the 2 mission trips. Adult beverages were again consumed from the trunk of Keith's Mustang. Ran into JT and asked him had he sold the 51 Bowman Spahn. He said he had not. Told him I wanted it. He went to his room and got it. After everything was over, back to the hotel to sleep. Saturday, I only needed a few cards, most I had not seen. Went on the modest side, and there was a dealer, Roger Till, who had vintage. I was able to get all but one card from him. I had trouble finding this card, and went back and looked at the Halbert cards, and over to J.J. Hecklethorn to look through his cards, holding the card I needed. Card 550, Ken Hobbs, who had died before the start of the 1964 seasons. Topps made an N. Moraman card for him. JD told me he had 2 copies of the card. His wife said she sold them Friday. I still looked through the cards. I was getting discouraged on finding this card. I talked to Mike from Jayhawker Vintage Cards and told him I was having trouble finding it. I went back into the show, went to Tim Payne's table, told him what card I was looking for. He had 2 of them. I bought the one I wanted. I had finished my set. Went straight looking for Mike J. Hocker vintage cars to the time I found it. Looked around for a while, bought some exhibit cars, a few 64 Tops Giants, and some more modern cars. We went back to the room and rested a while before heading to the 4 Collectors Trade Night at the Holiday Inn. It was packed. I bought 2 autographed Phil Necro cards, then was just walking around looking, and I found a 64 Tops Giants Roberto Clemente. The collector had $60 on it and only had $45 in cash on me. He said he would take it. Jake at Legends Never Die had a 53 Tops Warren Spahn I bought. Then we left for the night. Got up Sunday before heading home, went back to the show for a few. I bought some 50, 51, and 52 Bowman Braves cards and found a few more 64 Top Giants I needed. Then we headed home. Overall, I came home with around 400 cards. It's a great show for me. Now I'd like to give some shout outs. The first shout outs are the 3 new channels. Sandlot Dreams, which is Finley and her dad Jason. It's good to see kids involved in the vintage, and Finley and her dad have a good time together. The next channel is Carter's Cardboard. Carter is the son of Nick Chin, Iowa Collector. Carter is a young man who also collects some vintage. He collects a lot of modern football. And the third new channel is Grateful Vintage Cards by Tim. We had a lot of fun drinking adult beverages out of the trunk of the Mustang with Tim. Now I want to give some shout outs. I know I did a video on the gifts I received, but I want to do some more shout outs on the gifts to make sure I didn't miss anybody. First, I want to shout out Tyler at 5 Cent Wax for the 10 1964 Tops he picked up for me and then just gave to me. I'd like to shout out Rob at Cash Cards for the Braves cards he got me. Matt at the Card Story, who gave me the exhibit card of the 1948 Braves team. Mike at J. Hocker Vintage Cards for giving me a 1964 Topps Phil Necro rookie card, which he had in his collection since he was 13 years old. Chris from Missouri, who gave me 3 1964 Topps Giants. Sandy Koufax, Bob Gibson, and Carl Yastrzemski. Tony at Tony Talks Cards for the Braves cards, especially the 3 1974 Topps minis that he gave me. Joe at Redneck Collector gave me some 1959 Topps Braves for my team set. Scott at Reindeer Studio, the art card for Manny Sanguine in honor of Reverend Steve's cards. Brent Richards and Jeff. Brent for the card of Manny Sanguine that he made from a negative, and Jeff for the Mag Pro flip he made. Their channels are Brent Richard baseball cards, and Jeff's is a fine card collector. Brian at Hodges 1455 for the 1981 Kellogg's Phil Necro, which I have, but this one was in better shape. And in my video for the gifts I received, I did forget to shout out his channel because I couldn't think of it at the time. Warren at Warren D in the CLE gave me a Greenville Braves 1996 minor league program honoring the 16 Braves from the 1995 World Champion Braves who all had played at Greenville. Now, I'd like to talk a little bit more about Chris from Missouri and all he does to promote the show to all of us on YouTube, whether you do videos or just comment or just watch. He's the reason me and my brother go to the show. And we were watching his videos in early 2024 and decided to go. He is definitely the mayor of Strongsville. He puts on the meet and greet, which is such a fun event. The first one we went to in 2024 there was maybe 40 people there. In 2025, they did a live version of Showcase Showdown and had a banner that Scott of Reindeer Studios had designed, and there were 71 of us there that signed it. This year, over 100 people were at the meet and greet, not just YouTubers and commenters, but also some of the dealers from the show. He also put together the informal get-together on Thursday that, like I said earlier, had more people at it than the first meet and greet in 2024. Now I'd like to give a shout out to the 4 collectors. John, 3D 80s Kids, Theo, Clemente Collector, Dan's Vintage Baseball PC, and Jason, Everyday Car Collector. For all they do for trade night, especially this year, since it was a last minute change in the location of the show, they did a wonderful job. And not only do they do trade night, they put on Hobby Palooza in the summer, which is 2.5 days of live shows on YouTube. Guys, keep up the great work. Now, shout outs for other people I met at the show or talked to. Sven Patrick, who subscribes to a lot of us and is in chats in a lot of the lives. Earlier this year, he gifted me a 1948 Bowman Warren Spawn. He came up to and talked to me at the show, and it was great to meet and talk to you. Harold, another one of my subscribers, was at the show. He won the 100 sub contest, which the prize was a 1967 Phil Negro PSA 7. We talked for probably 15 minutes. It was great to meet and talk to you, Harold. Next, another subscriber to a lot of the channels, Brian Savage of Savage Cards. He introduced himself and his wife, and I'm sorry I don't remember your wife's name, but they were a lot of fun. If I remember right, she's a Georgia Bulldog fan and he's a Georgia Tech fan. Lou Rock of Lou Rock TV, I met him for the first time. He was such a great person and a lot of fun to be around. John of Wade Boggs fan, it was great to meet and talk to him. I'd been on his and Don's Field of Dreams card show, 2 guys and 1 hobby, but I had never actually met John. I'd seen him at Strongsville, but never had actually talked to him till this year. Then I'd like to shout out Kyle of Collecting America's Pastime. Had been on his show, Go Collecting, was the first guest. It was great to meet and talk to Kyle. He was working the show on the water shop for the card shop he works at, Cards in the Land. I make sure to stop and see him every day and say hi, and then talk to him also at the meet and greet and at the trade night. Nick Chin, Iowa Collector. It was great to meet you and Carter and talk with you. Glad Carter loved the football cards I gave him. Matt from Straight Race Cards, it was great to meet and talk with you. Jim Faulkner, it's always a pleasure. Jim Faulkner at 5714 Collector. SammyThunder, always great to talk with Sammy. John of John P. Collects Cards, it was great to see you, didn't get to talk much. Jay of Jay's Average Vintage Collector, it was great to meet and talk to you. Alan, Boston fan, me and Alan commented a lot on each other's stuff, but it was finally great to meet and talk with him. Doug-JoeWoodCollector, always great to see Doug and talk to him, and I just learned so much after meeting him in 2024 about smoking Joe Wood. I went and did some of my own research. Now I see why Doug collects him. Dave from Peacemaker Cards. Dave was one of the first people I met the first year. So it's always great to see and talk with Dave. Aaron of Value Vintage Cards, it was great to meet and talk to you. Tony Southern Collector 14, was great to meet and talk to you some. Keith at Lonely Baseball Cards, it's not all about the cards, Keith, it's about the people. It was great to meet and talk with you. Orlando at A Collector's Dream, the Hobby Ambassador. It's always a pleasure to see Orlando and talk to him. At the first meet and greet I was at in 2024, we were sitting at the table and he was nearby, and I was talking about starting the channel, and he just turned around and looked and said, "Just do it." He was a great encouragement for me to start my channel. Rusty at Rusty's Vintage Cards, it was great to meet and talk to you. Jake at a Legends Never Die collection, it was great to finally meet you, and it was great to buy some Braves cards from you. Go Braves. Chop on. Ross at Ross Loves Cards, it was great to meet and talk to you. Greg at Midlife Cards, I've not read your book yet, but I plan to. I'm reading Hank Aaron's book, Hammer and Hank. It's great to talk to you. Craig of Craig Card 62, Pastor Craig, was always a pleasure to talk to you, sir. Mookie at Mookie Chilson, it was great to talk to you. You had the best tie at the whole event. I'd also like to give a shout out, even though you didn't get to come, to Don's Field of Dreams Cards. You were missed. His car broke down on the way there. There was others I wanted to meet and talk to, just not enough time to talk to everyone. Cannot wait for next year to get here. This is the last of my Strongsville videos for this year. I bet everyone is glad. When filming this video, I forgot to shout out Mike Petty. It's always a pleasure, Mr. Petty, to drink some moonshine with you. Till the next time.